store down around Gulfport right now, so. The sun over north of Mobile.
Okay, guys. Danny's in the other room checking the weather, so he'll be here in a minute. We're just waiting to see what he's doing, but while we're waiting on him, the plate. Okay, I have green beans that we just picked this morning. These are the rattlesnake beans that I cooked. Fresh asparagus, fresh squash and onions sauteed down. Okra that I cooked in the air fryer. I have a bell pepper from the You Pick It with quinoa and ground beef that I canned, and our tomato ketchup added into it. So it's a stuffed bell pepper. And then I have a little bit of a turkey thigh from our turkeys, right?
Yeah.
So he made it. Hey, guys.
I made it, guys. I have to go, and we have our goats. We have to lock them out of the barn every day, because if we don't, the cows go in their stalls and screw up everything. So we have to watch the weather, and if the weather looks like it's going to start raining or something, I got to go open the barn back up where they can go back in the barn, because they go screaming and hollering if they don't get in the barn and get wet. So, and I basically have exactly the same thing she has.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much the same thing.
The okra, I'm trying to figure it out in the air fryer so that I don't get it too crisp or too dried out. What do you think today? I'm thinking it tastes better today than normal.
Well, it's fresh. I just picked it this morning.
Yeah, we just picked the okra. I coated it.
It's good.
And I put it at 20 minutes at 400 degrees. I coated it with some cornmeal with and then coconut oil.
Okay.
And then put it in there. And every 3 or 4 minutes, I stirred the okra. And this came out just, I mean, to me, like you would have fried it in oil.
It is good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
I think, Anna, we've got a slight problem with our camera, not the camera, but with the computer. I was having a slight issue seeing the chat, but now I've got it.
One thing, hold on just a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, we see a lot of people have coming in. That sounds really weird.
Yeah.
We're Southern, I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
A lot of people come in just to join us today. If anybody has any questions for Danny, they could ask today on the soil preparation before he gets any further into the garden and stuff, I guess.
Mark said need prayers, house cat passed away today. Okay.
I see Mama Tried and Homestead Hippie and Living Off Grid MacGyver style. I think Sissy and Debbie and Lori and Jessica and let's see Jeremy.
Well, today's been a cleanup day. We pulled up all our tomatoes.
Yeah, and pulled up a lot of weeds.
Pulled up tons of weeds, guys. We got a video coming up on this, but back to Eden is not something we're enjoying. It's just too much work.
It's very labor intensive. Well, everything around here is really labor intensive with the weeds.
But everything else I can put a tractor in.
Yeah.
I can't put a tractor in the back to Eden.
Yeah.
And we're actually fixing to start trying a new system in the near future. We're hoping if we can come up with the money for the material that we need, we're going to be trying to start doing our gardening different next year because of.
We're actually going to start next month, probably.
We'd like to start next month if we have the money to get the stuff.
I think we're going to work that out because we've been talking about it, and Danny wants to use what's it called? Row covers?
Row covers,
not covers, the black stuff.
Ground cover.
Yeah, and we're going to try one of our gardens. Probably when the stuff comes out next month, we'll do it and see how it works for the winter.
Our winter will be grown if we can get the ground cover we want. We're going to be building a whole new garden system this winter to or this fall, should I say?
Yeah, I think it would be easier for us to do it in the fall.
Yeah.
And experiment over the winter and then into the spring. I have, let's see, Tammy, I think, wants to know about the blueberries. We can a lot of blueberries. Some of them I do in a light syrup just so that I can use them in pies or in anything because I don't put very much sugar in it. Then some of them I make blueberry jam. This year I've made blueberry syrup. And what else? Is that about it with the
blueberry? You make blueberry jam, blueberry syrup? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I make a lot of blueberry syrup because we really like the syrup on things. I can add it to a lot of things. So
did you make any blueberry jelly?
Yes, we made blueberry jelly too.
Okay.
So I've used the jelly, the jam, the syrup, and canned blueberries.
Well, what it is Wanda and I were noticing that this year has been extremely different here on our homestead. The grass is like 3 feet deep in a lot of places in our gardens, and we're just, the heat has been so intense that we can't stay out but just a couple hours in the mornings to be able to get the gardening took care of. And with all the rain we're having, the gardening's just getting away from us with weeds. So rather than, we're losing a lot of our stuff, especially sweet potatoes.
Yeah, we've got a couple of rows we hadn't even gotten to because we've had so much canning. And then it's so hot. If we took a little while during the day, early morning, several mornings, and got a lot of it, but we're losing nearly 2 rows.
We're losing probably 2 to 3 rows of our sweet potatoes. So thank you, Ashley. I really appreciate that. But you know, if we can start using a ground cover, it might be a little expensive up front. But we're trying to, as an experiment for us. So we're not going to buy the really expensive ground cover yet. We found a place where we can get it reasonable. And if we can make that happen, we have the equipment to put it down. So we feel like that it'd be a good experiment for us using irrigation underneath the black row covers. I think that might work out well for us.
Yeah.
But it's an experiment.
Somebody's asking, how do I make the blueberry jelly? I believe there is a video last year maybe that I made blueberry jelly. And it might have been, I wasn't sure if it's going to turn out to be jelly or syrup. Lots of times with blueberries it's very iffy. If you try to make the jelly and it turns into syrup. But when my canning class was here, I didn't video it, but we made blueberry jelly. And we intended to make jelly. But when they were all leaving, it was still like a syrup. So we thought maybe it was syrup, but it gelled over the next day. So blueberries is very difficult to guarantee it's going to be jelly, put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, how I know about a garden of weeding. That's what we've got.
Yeah, and it's just too hot here for us to stay out and weed. Like this morning, I was pulling up tomatoes. We were pulling weeds. I spent 3 hours in the back to Eden garden, and I'm pulling up tomato plants, taking the cages out, and trying to pull up weeds. And I didn't even get through and stayed there for 3 hours. And the garden's only 60 feet long and 8 feet wide. So, I mean, it's not worth it to us. Plus, I had to tie peppers. We picked rattlesnake beans. We picked some lady peas. We picked butter beans. We picked butter peas. We picked okra. I picked corn.
And I went through, did the hugel bed all around the...
You weeded on the hugel bed?
The pineapples. This year we do not have a pineapple fruiting. So we've got them on the hugel bed. And they look great. They just have not fruited this time. So I'm not sure. Last year we had 2 that fruited. This year I'm not sure. What's your favorite type of jelly? Probably apple. And I'm going to be making apple jelly.
Apple jelly is probably one of my best. Apple or peach, either one.
Weeds make compost. Well, we don't want to add these weeds to our compost because
ours is mimosa weeds.
And I was reading up on the mimosa weeds today. They are very invasive. They said do not add them to your compost. They literally tell you to get them off your property because you're never going to stop them. And it's almost like the Kogon grass. Once you get them, they're not going away.
They're not going to go away.
The only way to get rid of most of the weeds is to
move.
Well, no, probably, according to what I read, was some very heavy chemicals and to do it religiously over a long period of time. And we are not going to be using chemicals, so we'll be dealing with mimosa weeds forever. And Danny's figured out he's going to try and use them to his advantage in one spot, but we had the gully wash. That video went up today. Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah, it went up today. He added a whole bunch of dirt. If you saw in the video, he added dirt with limbs and leaves and all this stuff into it. And we're putting the mimosa weeds over that and seeing if it won't grow and at least hold it instead of letting it wash.
Yeah, let's see. Do you have any Cherokee seeds available for sale? It depends on what kind of Cherokee seeds you're talking about. We have
the tan, I think.
We don't have any Cherokee tan pumpkins right now. We just harvested some Cherokee tan pumpkins.
Yes, we harvested 6. That was in that video.
Was that in the video? Okay.
Yeah, we harvested 6. The huckle bed, the Cherokee tans are going everywhere. It just hasn't bloomed on there yet.
Right.
But the ones in the garden with the corn have produced some, and we took 6, and we're going to see how many more are out there, but we just found 6.
Yeah, the grass is like 3 feet deep, and we saw a big moccasin coming out there the other day, so we're a little bit leery about wading out in there.
Yeah. Somebody has poison oak, and it's terrible to get rid of.
Yes,
you have to use chemicals pretty much to get rid of
poison oak or poison ivy. You almost have to use Roundup or something to at least control it. Time to Sow says, I'm having to totally rethink my garden for next year to adapt to this heat. My zone number went up to 9 in the past 3 to 4 years, and it's only going to get hotter. That's exactly what's happened to us. Exactly the same thing. We went from literally freezing temperatures back in March to within 2 weeks being 90 degrees plus, and we have been stuck at 90 degrees plus ever since, and it's just been excruciating with our humidity.
Now Zena says she sent me a text a few days ago. Zena, I didn't get it, so if you want to send it on Facebook, because I know she's a friend over there. You can either send it on Facebook or send it to deepsouthhomestead@gmail.com because I haven't seen anything from you. Can pollinators find the pumpkin flowers in a thick corn patch? They found ours.
They found ours.
Ours has a lot of grass, corn, everything.
Jessica, the only reason we picked ours before they turned orange completely was we began to see in that deep grass where the rats had begun to try to gnaw on the outside of them, and we was afraid we would lose the ones that we have.
And they're already turning.
And they're turning the color. I mean, they'll be okay. But let me tell you something about harvesting pumpkins. When you harvest a pumpkin, make sure you cut that stem as long as you can cut it, because the length of that stem will determine how long that pumpkin will last.
Okay, what about the Kogon grass? What is going on? You've salted it down, so what's happened since you salted it?
We've got to do a video on it.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to leave it at
that. Because I've not even been back there, so I'm with y'all. I don't know. I just know that he salted it.
I've got it taken care of. I've been purposely waiting to see if what I did will work.
So we've
got to shoot a video and get it out so that these people will know if what I've done worked
or not.
Yeah.
He hasn't mentioned it to me, so I wouldn't know.
Right. I've purposely been waiting.
And Yoklahoma says they are adapting their greenhouse going in the fall with shade cloth. That's another thing we've been talking about today.
Today we actually looked it up online.
We're going to add the shade cloth to the greenhouse, possibly change the top out where we had clear panels on top because it's so hot here.
Yeah.
To put in metal roofing with insulation
We
under
got
it.
insulation under it now.
And then the shade cloth on the part that's so long.
Yeah.
And we can raise the shade cloth up and down. That's our goal.
Malcolm said, how far north will your Cherokee crops grow? I know they'll grow up into, I've had people tell me Virginia, and all up in there, they're having no problem growing them. So, I mean, I don't know any further north than that. I really don't know. Have we had anybody order further north than that?
I'm really not sure. I don't remember where people are from, but
I remember there was one in Virginia.
Lots of people.
And they said they sent a message and said theirs was doing great.
Lots of people have ordered, and they say that they're vining, but only one or two so far are having fruit.
Mr. Hendrickson, John Hendrickson said he was already.
He's been collecting.
He's been collecting all his, but he's in Florida. Yeah.
And I know people here in Mississippi have had the Lorries had one come on theirs. So it's the time of the year for them to be putting on their flowers and starting to produce. Actually, ours are a little earlier than last year, I believe, because we harvested what, September, and we're July, so we planted earlier this year. We didn't plant them till probably a couple of months later last year.
Right.
So.
I heard my daughter. She popped in here. Hey, Jen.
She had several boys at her house last night.
Oh.
She had a boy party.
A boy party for her son.
Brave woman.
Brave woman. So I saw a question go by and I forgot what it was.
What's for lunch today?
Oh, okay. That's what it was. Fried okra. The Star of David okra on top of that. Home-raised turkey. Bell peppers with quinoa in it. Fresh yellow squash.
And onions.
And onions from our place.
Was that it?
Is that it? I don't know, I almost ate all of it, so yeah, I guess it is.
Pretty much. That's about it.
There were stuffed bell peppers in you.
Will we see Hank today, please? Well, if I can get through eating, I'll go get him and bring him in for a minute. He's really liking the porch. He doesn't like being...
He don't like being in his doghouse.
He doesn't like rain. We figured that out. So he wants to stay on the porch. If we were out this morning, it started sprinkling. He starts heading in. If he starts getting wet, he's going to be like the goats. The goats don't like to get wet.
He's going to have to learn.
So
I stayed out and worked all through the rain. I didn't even stop.
I made him stay too. He wasn't a happy camper, but it wasn't raining hard. It was just a light sprinkle. So we're trying to get him used to that. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's got to learn. He's an outside dog. He can't
come in.
He can't be wussing out on us, you know.
And he's doing pretty good for the most part. Sounds like a super dinner instead of lunch.
Supper dinner.
Supper dinner. Yeah. It probably is. I fix a big lunch some days, and then some days he eats a hamburger, and so it's according to what we're doing. But we had all these fresh veggies today, and I'm like, okay, we're cooking today.
Yeah, we have plenty of fresh stuff.
What are the tentacles called on the Cherokee tam pumpkins that grab the soil? What are they called? The little...
Trindles.
Trindles. Okay. Yeah, somebody at Saddle Ridge says her dog doesn't like get wet either. I think he's just not a happy camper if it starts sprinkling.
Well, he's a short-haired dog, and most short-haired dogs, you know, well, not all of them, but some of them don't like to get wet. And things like Labradors and stuff like that, they love the water. He's going to have to get used to it.
Okay, I saw you did a video earlier picking green corn to dry for seed. Did you hit on that just a little bit? I've always let my corn draw a stalk. What does that mean? I'm not sure.
Dry on the stalk.
Oh, okay.
The only reason we didn't let ours dry on the stalk was because the raccoons and the possums and stuff like that, we actually smelt a skunk today for the first time in probably 10 years. I had them all killed out. has been tearing our corn down, getting it. We've caught 19, I think is what I told you, 19 coons and possums in 1 month already, and they still just keep coming.
They've eaten almost half.
They've eaten half of the corn, so
we're having to pull it as quickly as it starts.
As it starts turning brown the least bit, and we know it's completely mature and it's in its drying stage, starting to. I go ahead and get it off the stalk. We bring it here to the house and we shuck it back and leave the shucks on it, but we shuck the shucks back and we're letting it dry. So that's the reason.
Time to Sow says her Cherokee tan broke off the base, and the trindles are supporting the plant or sustaining it. That's one good thing about the Cherokee tan is the trindles will support the other. They
put out a root every leaf node.
Yeah.
They put roots out to the ground. That's why I don't like mine growing up on a trellis or something. Because if a vine borer or something like that happens to get to it and kills one part of it, the other part of it's still rooted in the ground out there if it's on the dirt, and it'll just still keep going, and you don't lose your pumpkin.
Yeah. And it usually does pretty good. I mean, we don't have too much problems, or we didn't last year with it producing. So we're going to see. I'm hoping on the hugel bed we get even more, because 6 is not enough.
No.
And we probably have more out in the corn. We just haven't waded all through it to find them yet. We're just letting it go and hoping that the rats don't get all of them.
As Lean said, my first year growing cauliflower, how do I know when to harvest it? Cauliflower is one of those funny things. In the deep south, we actually have to pull the leaves over the head on the cauliflower, because if not, the sun will actually bleach it, make it, well, not bleach it, but turn it yellow on top, because it's just too intense here where we live at. And usually, you just have to look at the number of days on it, because it'll, if you leave it too long, it gets hard and it's not soft anymore. But if you look at the number of days to maturity on it, according to the kind that you grow in your variety, just count from the time you planted it, and you should be able to know.
Somebody wants to know, one says, what town are we from? We're closest to Wiggins.
Closest to Wiggins.
And then somebody said, what is the easiest thing to plant and the hardest thing to plant? I can answer the hardest, because up until this year, the hardest thing for us to do was grow onions with any size to them. And even this year, they're not huge, but they were decent onions.
They were decent onions, yeah.
This was our first year to grow onions. So onions has been the hardest thing for us to do.
Bulb onions.
Yeah, the big onions. But what's the easiest?
The easiest?
Probably the sweet potatoes, because we don't do much to them.
The sweet potatoes is really, really easy. I mean, you just stick them in the ground, you plow them once, or hose some dirt up around them once, or put them in a container or whatever, and you just leave them alone. I mean, as long as you fertilize them at the beginning, they pretty much just take care of themselves.
Somebody says, what would eat the flowers off of a potato plant, and will they still produce? Is it potato bugs?
Well, potato flowers have nothing to do with the potato.
Yeah. Something eating the flowers?
The tarnish bug. There's a bug called tarnish bug that literally will sting the flowers and suck all the living life out of them, and then the flower will just fall off. Now, I don't know if that's what happened or if something's actually eating your flowers, but there is a bug called a tarnish bug, and it hits everything, literally. Peppers, I mean, it doesn't matter. It'll eat to sting the blooms on all things, and they'll fall off. So just kind of look that bug up and look and see if you see those around.
Yeah, Hokey Rob says onions are the easiest and the hardest to grow.
Yeah.
They did really well this year compared. Before we've just not had any luck with them. So.
Right.
Do y'all have purple pole beans? No. We only planted the rattlesnake pole beans this year. And we don't like things cross-pollinating, so we only planted one something accordingly. So we planted the rattlesnake beans.
Ralph said, are you planning on using irrigation tape with the ground cover? And is it so on top or under it? Yes, we are planning on using irrigation tape. We already have that. Mm-hmm. We already have the manifold system to hook it all up with. And it goes underneath it. We have the equipment to put it actually in the ground when we put the cover down. So yes, it goes under the cover, and we will be using it.
Yeah, and Tammy said she would try the onions from seed from now on because the sets are unpredictable. We actually ordered our seeds, and we have them in for onions. We got what was it called?
We have the yellow granites.
Yellow granites.
The candy.
And the candy onions. Yeah. And we're going to try those from seed this time. And I just ordered the sweet roaster peppers.
Yeah.
That we got at the You Pick It. We like those peppers, so we ordered the seed for those, and we're going to try those.
Mama Tried Homestead says, do beans cross-pollinate? Yes, they do, because we have rattlesnake beans that somebody sent us, and I don't know who it was, that's actually growing. They're a combination of a couple different beans.
Some of them look like rattlesnake beans with the purple
in them. Some of them look like fava beans.
Some of them are flat.
That's to be the fava bean.
That's the fava.
Yeah.
And then some of them are just like long.
Like regular green beans.
Yeah.
I mean, they look long, slender green beans.
So we've got a variety on our stuff. They all taste good, but you can tell it's a combination. So obviously our seeds are not total rattlesnake, but the ones we planted last year were. So these were kind of a combination.
And you just have to look at Mama Tried Homestead. You have to look at the genus name on them. If they both have the same genus names, then yes, they will cross-pollinate. That's with anything you plant in your garden. I mean, sometimes your cucumbers can cross-pollinate.
If she's asking this, do peas and beans cross-pollinate? Peas and beans do not cross-pollinate each other.
Unless they have the same genus name.
Yeah, if you planted Red Ripper peas and butter beans, those two won't cross. But if you plant peas and peas or butter beans and butter beans, yes, they will cross. Two different types.
Just to be safe, check the genus name.
Yeah. Can you save candy hybrid seeds?
No.
No. The seeds we got were not hybrid, were they?
Yeah.
They are hybrid? Okay, so we do have. Well, how are we getting seeds if they're hybrid? That don't make sense.
They create them somehow. I ain't a scientist. I don't know.
Well, we got seeds for a hybrid. Who knows? Yeah,
they're hybrid seeds anyway.
I have never canned onions. I always cut mine up and put them in the freezer. Well, I have canned. I canned onions and peppers last year.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, you canned a little.
And I did them together so I could just open a jar and pour the peppers and onions into something. But they are so soggy already, and I just didn't like them, so I'm not trying that again.
Anna Cooley, okay. Our computer, the screen is at a light shine. I can't hardly see.
Yeah, it's messy.
Have we ever grown Blue Lake beans? Yes, I have. Blue Lake green beans. Yes. Normally the contenders do best for us here, but this year the contenders did nothing. As a matter of fact, we planted 2 or 3 times, didn't we? And finally just got a piece of a row up.
Mm-hmm. We planted twice, and the first time nothing came up. The second time they came up, a piece of a row came up, and we got a few off of it, but it was the contenders just didn't.
We probably didn't get 5 jars off the contenders, and that's usually our go-to bean.
Yeah, we usually can over 100.
This was our seeds we planted. This wasn't like we ordered them from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It stayed so cold that every time we would plant. No, I still got 2 pieces of turkey left.
Okay.
Let's see here. How do you keep your onions from taking over the freezer? And
thanks for the response. Talking about the smell.
Oh, well,
I guess we don't. They're in there.
They're in there, and after about the first week or 2, you lift it up and the scent's gone. I mean,
it may be in all the other food. I don't know, but
we just like onions.
We like onions. It doesn't seem to bother. I mean, I've not had any issues so far. Now, I've had some bad luck with peas and beans this year. Yeah, our most everything's done pretty good. Our containers are doing really well.
Yeah.
It's like they got a second wind. All that dry spell we went through, the containers, everything in them was starting to look bad.
Really bad because of the sun. The sun was just scorching them.
Yeah, once it started this raining every day, all of them are blooming all over again and putting on peas and beans and stuff. And they're
because it's been staying cloudy.
Yeah, and it's not as hot.
Not as hot.
They may die next week if it gets to 100
Yeah,
and
next
something
week's
degrees. No.
Next week's supposed to be a scorcher again, so we're gonna see.
So we just pick as they're there, and if they're not there, oh well. We just have to do without.
Let's see. Country Living says I'm canning salsa right now for today's project. If I can get here right and see the screen. Paula said vacuum sealing onions does not smell up your refrigerator or freezer. That's pretty good to know. Let's see. All right, guys, I'm not seeing any more questions right there. So, onions and peppers. I guess those are two of our most favorite things to grow in the garden and to eat because we eat them on everything that we eat. Honestly, I mean it doesn't matter what we cook. If we're cooking any kind of meat, it's got onions in it. If we peppers in it. If we're, I guess, other than a steak, maybe, but, oh, Lord, she's brought in you know who.
Okay.
All right, here's the prankster. Hank the prankster.
Somebody call him Hankster.
Hank the Hankster.
Oh, you gonna lay down? They can't see you if you lay down.
Oh.
He's got to get up. Here, lay on me.
You're a sleepy boy. You're just lazy.
What?
Yeah, you're just a lazy boy. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Let me see if I can adjust this camera just a little bit.
Why do they sell onion sets if they don't produce bulbs?
That one has really, they'll produce a bulb, but it's just a small bulb. They'll get about that big around. They won't ever get no bigger.
They don't get huge.
Yeah, they're just, I mean.
What would be a good cover crop in zone 6? And when should it be planted? He smells the meat.
He smells that turkey. I know what you smell, boy. You a meat-eating dog. Yeah. Oh.
He said, I smell turkey.
He said, I smell turkey. That's what I mean. A good cover crop would probably be something in zone 6. You could probably plant buckwheat or any kind of ryegrass or wheat or something like that. That's all good cover crops. Lots of your clovers. You got several different red crimson clover, white clover, all these different ones. They really do good.
Miss Paula wants to know, she said her cayenne and jalapenos are doing great, but she can't get any sweet peppers. That seems to be kind of an issue here lately. Everybody is having issues with sweet peppers.
Everybody's having issue with peppers now, especially since it stayed so cold early this year.
What?
You can't have it. No.
We don't have any.
There's no more. He smells it. He wants it bad.
Somebody asked about canning okra. I have a video up on canning okra for frying, and it is actually awesome. And I did a video, it was last year, or 2 years ago. Might have been 2 years ago. I can't remember now. But anyway, on how to can okra. Then I did a follow-up video on cooking with it. And Danny and I cooked some from a jar just that I put up 2 years ago. 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
I keep letting it go to see how long it's going to go, and it's 2 years old, and it still tastes just as good. And it's, oh, don't you bite me.
He's hungry.
He ate a while ago.
He's a hungry dog.
He smells that turkey on us. And
he's a growing dog.
You better hide your head.
You better hide down there, boy.
But the okra is really good canned that way, and it has a slight vinegar taste. Danny says it does. I don't notice it, but
just a touch. It's
just a little bit, because you only put a little bit of vinegar in it to help preserve it.
Time to Sow said they tried your okra canning recipe, and it's the best they've ever had.
To me, it is. It
is good.
I never knew you could can. Here, let them see you.
Let them see you, son. Sit up. Pay attention.
Pay attention. He said,
like my mama used to tell me, you got bad posture. Sit up.
He said, no, he's hiding. I'm going to take and get you something else in a few minutes. You just wait. He said, I can't help it if I smell stuff y'all don't smell. He's got a nose now. He's been running around.
He runs everywhere with his nose on the ground. I mean, he smells all kind of stuff. Yeah, he's going to start licking my hand now.
And he's probably, Danny's going to get him a squirrel tail. He just hadn't had time to stop.
I just hadn't had time to stop and take one out.
I think he'll have fun with that. And then he'll probably be barking at trees all day long. We may create a monster.
We might.
So I'm not sure with that, but we'll see. All right, I'm not sure. Do deer eat tomato leaves and jalapeno pepper leaves?
Deer, when I was in New York State working, I saw deer eating tomatoes all over the place. Now, I don't know if they were just that hungry or what, but I mean, they don't eat them here, but I saw them in New York State eating them.
Yeah, Yokohama's talking about Living Traditions homestead peppers. Yes. We got to talk to them, Kevin and Sarah.
Was it 2 nights ago? 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago, we spent about 2 or 3 hours talking to them.
And they are just, if y'all haven't checked out Living Traditions Homestead, these two are really living it. We don't find very many people that we can say are living that life, but those two are. And
they're a lot like us. I mean,
we found we had a lot in common.
Yeah, a lot in common with them.
And they have the ground cover. They've been using it, and we were asking questions and going to talk to them again later on some things they're doing. And they are in Missouri.
Southern Missouri,
yeah. So we're going to see what they're doing with the ground covers. That's one thing we talked to them about is the ground covers, and we're thinking it's probably going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
Deer's been eating the okra plants. Deer will
eat okra now. They'll eat every one of the leaves.
What are you doing? He smells that.
He smells that turkey on my hand where I was picking it up. Look at him. He'll go to eat my hand. Look at him.
He's looking at you like, can I do this?
Look at him. Oh, you bad dog.
Don't look at me like that.
You gotta look at my hand. He said he smells that turkey on my hand.
I'm gonna have to find you some turkey, aren't I? Oh, we got a dog. He's a deep south dog, y'all.
He's a deep south dog.
He was eating tomatoes this morning while we were pulling the tomatoes up. Danny found a couple like cherry-sized tomatoes.
Yeah.
And he sat there gnawing on those. And the other day I gave him a strawberry, a late strawberry that was blooming and had come out, and he ate the strawberry. You change into a marshmallow when Hank is around. He's actually a dog guy. Everybody thinks he don't like dogs. He just don't like our neighbor's dogs barking all day long. That's the problem.
I've trained a lot of dogs in my life, and it's and they've turned out to be some of the best dogs in the country. So I mean, you know.
Yeah, there's Jen.
Yeah, that's a good boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're talking about Living Traditions. Had a great harvest. Danny was watching their video this morning, right?
Yep, I watched their video this morning. They had a huge harvest.
Yeah.
Nice, really nice.
Mama tried said no turkey. It's not good for them. Yeah, I don't think we've actually got turkey left that he's getting, but he'll get something that might have some.
How do we keep the deer out of our garden? Well, I tell you, we keep the deer out of our garden with a crossbow and with a 270.
And lots of times we don't keep them out. If they come in, the fence detours them.
It deters them.
We do have the woven wire up all the way around now where we just had bobbed wire, and it was only 3 strands, right?
No, 5. It was 5 strands.
Was it?
Yeah.
I didn't remember, but it wasn't. There were spots they would go through. And now that we've got the woven wire, we've not seen any deer problems. But I don't think at all, have we?
We hadn't had any deer problems well, it's not time of the year for deer to come in our place. Our deer don't even come in here till about late October, maybe November they'll start showing up.
Somebody said Irish Spring in bags. We did use the Irish Spring.
Yep.
Maybe last year in the sweet potatoes.
It worked. Where we put it at, where it's not at, it didn't work. So
they pretty much stayed out.
Hey.
What you doing?
Pay attention. You're on camera. You're supposed to be paying attention.
He said he's not even.
You're goofing on me, son. I can't have a dog that goofs. You got to be.
You got to pay attention.
You got to pay attention. You see the screen?
See the screen?
You got to look.
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 What? He's looking at you like, huh?
Look. You got to pay attention, son.
Howdy doody time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
wants to talk about the shade cloth.
He's a good dog, though.
All right, come on, let's go back and I'll find you something to eat since you want to smell everything. All right, they want to talk about shade cloth and stuff again, I guess.
Okay, shade cloth comes in lots of different percentages as far as how much sun you want to block out. Depending on where you live at and how hot it gets, depends on how much sun you want to block out. Here at Deep South Homestead, that's what we're wrestling with right now, is trying to figure out whether we want 30% blockage, do we want 40% blockage, do we want 50, 60, 70, 80, for the particular time of the year it is. So we're going to be mainly using our shade cloth in the winter months. And even in the wintertime when it's, say, 30 to 40 degrees outside, our greenhouse still runs around 90 to 100 degrees. So we're thinking maybe 40% shade cloth might be okay for us in the winter months. But now in the summer months, if we decide to try to use the greenhouse, we may have to have a heavier shade cloth to keep it from getting so hot in there. But our only problem is we're thinking about, is this going to make our vegetable plants get too tall and too leggy if we put too dark of a colored shade cloth down? Brian said that Sheila says hello. That's Hank's sister. If any of y'all want to know, Sheila is Hank's sister. So, and I probably missed a lot of questions, I know.
There's Doug. Hey, how's it? It's not as hot as it was. Yeah. Danny's been watching Doug's build on the...
Yeah, I've been watching his build on his cellar. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Doug, I don't watch, but
I
don't watch anybody. I just listen from a distance.
Anything with construction, I'm going to watch. And I told Wanda before you started digging that cellar, when you dug it, I told her, I said, uh-oh, I see a problem. I said, the backside by the deck's going to cave off because I could look at the dirt and tell, only because I've done construction for 26 years. And
he also said there's going to be a water issue if it rains.
Yep.
Because he had the same
I had the same issues because I did just what Doug's doing, and I knew from experience what was going to happen. And I said, oh my gosh, I said, I hope it's not as bad for him as it was for me during some of my times. But
he's having some issues too.
But he's working through it. He's getting it done. They shored it up this morning. I'm hoping that works and holds to at least they get the block walls up or whatever they're going to use.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not doing anything underground right now because it has rained here every day. And 3 days ago, the video we put up today was like 3 days ago. It rained 5 inches in less than 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And that thunder and lightning was horrendous.
Okay, Rob is saying that now he uses 50% shade cloth and it still gets too hot. The plants don't get leggy unless they're crowded. See, Rob, that's what we're trying to figure out is which percentage do we want to go with. Now, was yours during the winter time
or the
summertime? Because we won't be using our greenhouse during the summer. We have no reason to. But ours will start in the fall and go into the winter.
Doug says, why didn't you email him right off? Well,
I almost did but I didn't want you to think I was just trying to be a smart aleck or something, you know. I almost said something.
He tries to stay out of people's business.
Yeah.
Just like he watches Pure Living for Life, and I know theirs is later.
Yeah, that's all.
But when he watches, he goes, "Oh, I see all this issues here, and here." But he doesn't say anything. I
never send a message to him or anything.
Theirs is already done.
Yeah, they're already way ahead of that.
You know,
it'd be stupid.
And Doug's is already done. He may have a cellar constructed by now, for all I know. But
no, he's actually working on his as he goes along, I believe.
He says if you want rain, but a sun oven or dig a hole for construction. That's true. If you want rain, just do something that you do not want rain, and it's going to rain every time.
And see, that's where we're at. Our corn is in the drying stages, and we don't need rain right now, but we're getting it every day anywhere between what, a half an inch to 3 inches every day.
Mm-hmm.
And then next week we're not supposed to get any rain, and the corn will be ruined by then.
Yeah, Okie Rob says he leaves it on year round.
Okay.
So probably we may need something heavier than the 50% because we may do we get more sun than he does? Or as much?
We get more humidity, I think, than Rob probably does. But I mean, he probably gets just as much heat as we get.
He says it's real-time video, so he's just working on that yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, when Doug, I can tell you if you use blocks, I just
go ahead.
I'm not trying to be a smart aleck or anything, but if you use blocks, go ahead and lay them 4 feet high and go ahead and stick your rebar in it, and for the next 4 feet above it, and go ahead and fill your blocks to that 4 foot level before you ever start laying those other courses to go on up. I mean, I learned that. I did construction. I learned that the hard way. Because if you try to get a pump truck and walk down the top of them block walls and fill them all the way to the bottom, it's just not as easy as it would be. And plus, we actually had a wall blow out one time because we didn't put the concrete in first in the first 4 foot. So I mean, these are just things I learned from experience.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if you could use 12-inch blocks instead of 8-inch, but everybody goes with 8-inch blocks. But if I ever had to build another one, it would be done with 12-inch blocks.
They hold better.
Yeah, they hold better. They're stronger. They're just a lot better. A lot better block.
Good tip. No blocks.
Oh, you're gonna do yours out of wood like we did then?
You're gonna build wood?
Ours is made out of. Well, no, he had rebar. He's got to have some. Oh, he may be gonna pour ICF forms or something.
Yeah, that's true.
It could be that.
I forget about those thingies.
Yeah.
Jen says we keep it on all year and have flaps to make sort of a greenhouse effect for winter on hog panels. So she uses it too.
Yeah. Yokohama said, Danny said lime in another live lunch. Just wondering if it was ag lime or how to do it. I'm not sure what we're talking about.
Yeah, we missed a lot. Somebody saying happy birthday tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow is our anniversary.
It's our anniversary.
His birthday is the 24th.
Yes.
And so we are going to.
Yeah, Doug says stay tuned. Okay.
Yeah, y'all stay tuned. Danny checks in every day.
Yeah.
He likes builds. If we can't be building, he's going to watch somebody else build.
Yeah, if I can't build something for myself, I scour the internet looking for somebody building something. Because construction, just sawdust runs through my veins. I can't help it.
Yeah, and right now, hopefully, talking about our anniversary, we've got plans for tomorrow that if it does rain, we have no plans. So if it doesn't rain tomorrow on our anniversary, we'll be out of here for a little while. And then on his birthday, I have no clue.
Yeah, snakes. Yeah, we use I use what's called hydrated lime for snakes. Just a white powdered lime. It seems to do pretty good. Or you can use mothballs if you don't mind the scent.
Yeah, some of them they said happy anniversary earlier, and somebody said happy birthday, so that was it. But yeah, our anniversary's tomorrow. Birthday's the 24th.
Yeah.
So we'll get them both in this month, and then we'll wait till September for mine.
Yes. She's our what do you call it? A fall solstice?
Fall baby.
You're a fall baby.
I'm a fall baby.
Yeah.
Yes. We will be married.
Christy said the 24th was her dad's birthday. He must have been a great man.
Everybody born on the 24th.
Everybody born on the 24th.
That's pretty cool. Just pulled our tomato plant. Should we
go ahead and lime for the fall crop? Thanks. If you need it, if your soil analysis says you need the lime, then yeah, you need to go ahead and be doing it where it'll be starting to work.
How do you get rid of a mouse?
Well, there's lots of ways to get rid of a mouse.
You
can use a mouse trap. You can use poison. You can put a cat. I mean, there's a lot of different ways. I don't recommend the poison because rat poison is the same thing as they give people for a blood thinner. Yeah. They just overdose the rat on blood thinner and kill him. And if you have another animal that rat, like chickens or a dog or a cat or something other, then you run the risk of poisoning your animal also.
Rosemary said her birthday's the 24th also, and then somebody asked what day in September. Mine is September
21.
The 21st.
That's the reason I said the solstice, baby.
Yeah. So we have used a little of all rat problems, but mainly we use traps.
Traps are our biggest thing. We set 4 or 5 traps. There was a while there
Once he took the wood out of the shed where we have the chickens now, the wood had let them.
They built underground.
Yeah, the wood had been there since Katrina, and that was 4 years ago when we moved it. And so from Katrina till then was about 8 years it had been there.
Yeah.
And the rats had just went crazy in it. So it took us a long time to get the rats under control. They're not gone by any means, but they are.
No, we still got one out there that we're having fits with, but we'll eventually get him. That joker's just highly intelligent.
He won't get in a trap.
He won't get in a trap. Thank all y'all for the happy anniversaries and the happy birthday.
Yeah.
Azaleen, it's the 21st for her.
Yeah, the 21st of September.
Yeah. Let's see.
I've got, what, 5 of my grandchildren. 5 out of 9 grandchildren are born in September. So September is a huge month. My grandfather and grandmother on my mom's side was born in September, and quite a few aunts, uncles, and cousins born in September. So we have a huge September birthday month. You
know what that meant, don't you?
Everybody was busy
Everybody was busy at Christmas.
Yeah, they were celebrating.
They were celebrating Christmas. That's what it means. Everybody was celebrating at Christmas.
Oh, that's funny now. Rosemary said the 21st is her husband's birthday. Okay, Rosemary, well, you were the one that said yours was the 24th. Hers is the same day as yours. Her husband's the same day as mine. Now, how crazy is that?
How crazy is that? Okay.
That's really weird. All right, so what we got going on this afternoon?
Anything? Trying to avoid the massive heat.
A nap?
And I gotta go put the goats up if it starts raining.
A nap.
Sounds
like it. A nap.
A nap would be nice, but I'm not sure it's in the making.
You already had one already.
I had a
short nap.
Power nap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a power nap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, we've got, let's see. What do we need to do today?
Going to extract their honey tomorrow. They're so excited. I hope you have plenty. Lots of people's been checking their hives, have not had any honey. So I'm hoping that yours is, let's pray that it's good.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We don't have honey anymore since the guy quit bringing the bees. We had it for, what, 2 years straight or 3? Maybe 3 years.
3 years.
He brought the bees and we had our own honey from that. But since then, we hadn't had it. So honey's been a rare commodity around here for a while.
Yeah, Country Living Oregon Style says they're sitting at 103 right now. Idaho
wants to know.
Solar says, do you have any barn cats? No, we don't allow cats on our property.
Yeah.
Jessica said 7th one due in October. Woo!
Talking about grandkids, I
think.
And then Sissy said her husband calls it a power nap, and he's also from Mississippi. Good people. There's people all over the country that's good, though.
Yeah, but I mean, people from Mississippi learn you got to have them power naps in the middle of the day if you're going to make it through the rest of the day.
I don't take a nap. I work.
I don't know what that was, but
it sounded like something on our roof.
It sounded like something running across the roof, didn't it?
Well, probably a squirrel.
Probably a squirrel. Yeah.
We have those. Only 96 in Arizona. Yeah, we've got a friend in Arizona that's close to the Grand Canyon, and they just got their what they call monsoons started last week. They had no rain up until that point, and their barrels that they catch water, because they're off grid 100%, and they have no well or anything, so they're catching water. They have tanks. She said that she messaged the other day and said they had 800 gallons of water in their tank. And that doesn't sound like a lot to me, but to them, that's a lot.
Yeah, they've learned how to be very frugal with it.
We waste water.
Yeah, we waste
We're
water.
so used to having water till it's hard for me to comprehend using the amount of water they do.
Yeah.
They get by on minimal
amounts of water. Everybody wants to know why no cats. We've had 2 or 3 people says why no cats. Cats carry lots of diseases.
I just don't like cats.
I'm
not a cat person.
I'm not a cat person. Cats just tolerate people, and we have no room in our life for a cat. I don't like the hair on them. I don't like the fact that they're always rubbing up against you.
Yeah, I'm not big on that either. I mean,
there's a lot of people who love them, and that's perfectly fine if you like them, but we don't like them.
Yeah, I just don't like to be somewhere and a cat just starts sliding around my legs and stuff. It freaks me out. Even with dogs, we had Danny's dog, Rue, and I could be in the kitchen doing something, and Rue would get up next to me, and I would jump every time. I'm just not used to things in my space, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, you always got to be looking out for them because they run under your feet.
Yeah, I stepped on them several times, and I'm like, so that's why Hank's an outside dog. We're not having inside. And when I sit down outside, Hank's beside us. He doesn't get up
Hank
under our feet.
Hank is taught to stay on our left side only.
And we're trying to keep him from just jumping on things and all that. We put him in our laps when we want him in our laps, but otherwise he's learning to sit and behave. That's what we want. We want an obedient dog. We don't want a
I don't want a dog. I don't want a spoiled brat dog who just runs in the yard all the time. He has to sit by me on my left side all the time, or he gets in trouble.
And when we want it, like today, he's been out running and playing. I took him off the leash. He just gets to go like crazy, and he runs his energy off. And we do that every day.
Every day, because he's a puppy.
And, because he wants to exercise. Yeah. And so he has his time for that, but he also has his obedient time.
Yes.
So we're teaching him, and he's doing really good.
He's doing real well.
He hasn't barked in the last 3 or 4 nights.
No.
But he starts at 5 in the morning. No, 5:30.
Yeah.
5:30.
5:30. He's going to bark religiously
because
he's Wanda's alarm clock. Of course, I'm already up, but he's
wants
ready to eat.
Yeah, he wants me up, so I have to get up and he doesn't get to eat right when he wants to eat, but he gets to eat shortly thereafter.
After we eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Well.
Any more questions? Otherwise, we got to go find something to do.
Yeah.
We're kind of bored. I don't think we got anything to do. I know better than that.
Don't say we don't have anything to do. That's like.
He'll find me something to do.
I could name 1,000 things right now that needs doing. But
it's too hot.
But it's figuring out which one of them we want to do.
Yeah. And y'all, I'm gonna have a video up sometime later today on crazy days of just scenes from Deep South. It's gonna be pictures from the last 2 or 3 weeks that I've taken and just throwing it up there.
And if y'all want to see everything that goes on in Deep South, you got to go over to Crazy Days because Wanda. On her channel at Crazy Days, I mean, she fills in the gaps. She fills in the gaps with other stuff because we don't put everything on Deep South Homestead. I mean, Crazy Days takes up the slack.
Yeah, and it is crazy sometimes, and sometimes it's informative. And Crazy Days is not meant to be informative all the time, so it is on occasion. All right, so.
Everybody's saying Grizz whacked all the kitties. That's what happened.
Yeah. But Grizz is he's as much as a big pushover teddy bear with cats as you are with dogs.
Maybe. I don't know.
I've seen all them cats at his place. He ain't whacking kitties. He's got cats galore.
Well, maybe so. I don't know.
All right. So we got to get busy, guys, and we'll probably see y'all in 2 or 3 days. There'll be a video up tomorrow. It's already scheduled. Let me think. Oh, the hay rack is up tomorrow.
Is that what's up tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all stay tuned tomorrow.
Stay tuned tomorrow. We got a hay rack tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a pretty that was a pretty cool video to make.
Yeah, it was.
I enjoy making some of them because I like to show the progress of things going on, and that one was pretty cool. So it'll be up tomorrow, and we'll see y'all probably somewhere in the next few days. There'll be a video up, but
Yeah, there'll be one up.
we might could go live tomorrow sometime.
We might. Who knows?
That might be fun if it's according to where we're at.
I don't
And
know
what
where we're at,
doing,
whether we have any internet, whether we have any phone service or whatever.
and what we can do, and we'll see. And
All
Greg
right.
says, "Don't tell his secret."
I didn't.
I did.
I did. It's
All right,
a
guys.
male thing. I'm not giving up on another one there.
I told on Grizz.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
All right, guys, we got to check out here.
Blessed afternoon.